Hi, today we're going to talk about Mother's Day. We're going to talk about Memorial Day, the history behind it, and also some day trips you can take here in Ohio. We're going to also talk about our summer reading program, Tales and Tales. We will also make a craft, and the crafts here are these swirly paper flower craft. So this is our May 2021 online senior library program. And this is brought to you by the Outreach and Extension Department of the Tiffin-Seneca Public Library. So let's go ahead and get started with Mother's Day, the history behind the national holiday. So how will you celebrate Mother's Day? Will you take mom out maybe for dinner? Will you invite mom over maybe to your house? How will you typically celebrate Mother's Day? Mother's Day is a celebration honoring the mother of the family, as well as motherhood, maternal bonds, and the influence of mothers on society. It is celebrated on various days in many parts of the world, but most commonly in the month of May. In the United States, Mother's Day 2021 will occur Sunday, May 9th. Mother's Day complements similar celebrations honoring family members like Father's Day, Siblings Day, and Grandparents' Day. So where did Mother's Day come from? The ancient Greeks were among the first to pay tribute to Mom. Their spring festival honored Rhea, the mother of all Greek gods. In medieval times, British servants were given the fourth Sunday in Lent off to go home and visit their moms and their mother churches. And those were the churches where they were baptized. So this custom was called Mothering Sunday. So Mother's Day in the United States, in the years before the Civil War, Anne Reeves Jarvis, mother of 13 from West Virginia, helped start Mother's Day work clubs. So they were made to teach local women how to properly care for their children. These clubs later became a unifying force in a region of the country still divided over Civil War. So in 1868, Jarvis organized Mother's Friendship Day, which mothers gathered with former Union and Confederate soldiers to promote reconciliation. And Julia Howell was an American poet and author known for writing the Battle Hymn of the Republic. She was also an advocate for abolitionism and a social activist, particularly for women's suffrage. So in 1870, Julia wrote the first Mother's Day proclamation, asking women everywhere to join for world peace. The modern Mother's Day came as a result of Anna Marie Jarvis, the daughter of Anne Reeves Jarvis. Anna admired her mother, who attended to the wounded during the Civil War. Later, her mother became a community activist. When Anna was 12, it was said that she overheard her mother pray that there may one day be a Memorial Day for mothers for all the good that they do. Young Anna never forgot her mother's prayer. So when Anna's mom died in May 1905, the plan for a holiday was born. On the second anniversary of her mother's death, Anna organized a church memorial dedicated to her mother's good deeds. She also contacted Philadelphia philanthropist, it's hard for me to say, John Wanamaker, who joined a Mother's Day committee in hopes of honoring all mothers across the nation. So in May of 1908, Anna held another Memorial Day celebration and handed out white carnations, her mother's favorite flower. In 1910, West Virginia was the second state to observe the second Sunday in May as Mother's Day. After a letter-writing campaign headed by Anna, she was able to get Congress to federally recognize the holiday. And in 1914, President Wilson signed a bill that officially made the second Sunday in May Mother's Day. Anna's vision of Mother's Day continued. The holiday was meant to be celebrated by going to church, and sons and daughters would write loving letters to their mother. Carnations were worn on that day, and either pink or red were picked to honor living mothers, while white carnations were ones picked to honor mothers who had passed. With each year, more and more Mother's Day carnations were sold, and in 1920, greeting card companies started making Mother's Day cards. Anna was so upset at the cards. She felt that greeting cards were a lazy excuse for letters that should be handwritten. By 1924, Anna was so appalled by the commercialism on Mother's Day that she petitioned to have it abolished. And in 1930, Anna was arrested for disturbing the peace at a Mother's Day carnation sale. So sadly, Anna spent the rest of her life and inheritance trying to fight the holiday she helped to create. She died in 1948. Anna, who remained unmarried and childless her whole life. But because of Anna's work, millions of mothers receive extra attention, hugs, and appreciation. So she may feel happy, at least for that. So since then, Mother's Day is the most profitable day for florists. Phone companies see their busiest day of the year. Families often celebrate by giving mothers a well-deserved day off from activities like cooking or other household chores. Mother's Day tops all the other holidays as the busiest day of the year for U.S. restaurants. Nearly 80 million adults enjoy a meal out with mom every Mother's Day. So we're going to talk about Memorial Day, the other big holiday here in May. So its original name was Decoration Day. Memorial Day was set aside to honor those who died in our nation's service. Originally, it was started to commemorate the deceased of the Civil War, and it was adjusted after World War I to celebrate the deceased in all wars. Memorial Day was officially proclaimed on May 5th and was first observed on May 30th, 1868. Waterloo, New York was declared the official birthplace of Memorial Day by President Johnson in 1966. Memorial Day is celebrated on the last Monday in May, and red poppies are the unofficial flower of Memorial Day. Memorial Day parades were once a standard of the day. So you may be thinking, how am I going to celebrate Memorial Day this year? There are some day trips that you could take in Ohio, and we'll talk about those here. Places you can visit for Memorial Day. So 16 Ohio Memorial Weekend destinations truly symbolize the holiday and our remembrance of those who died in active military service. So the 16 are listed here. We will talk about just a few of them. And we got these museums and information here from www.ohiotraveler.com. So Champaign Aviation Museum. They are open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and they are closed Sunday and Monday. Their address is listed here as well as their phone number. And you can also find it on the website we mentioned earlier. You can see volunteers rebuild historic World War II bombers, try your hand at being Rosie the Riveter, and view special exhibits and artifacts from World War II. It's very interesting. Fort Meigs historical site, the admission is $10 for adults, $8 for seniors ages 60 and up, $5 for students and children over 5 and under 5 are free. So rates may vary for special events, and reduced admission is available November through March. So they are open Wednesday through Saturday, 9:30 to 5, and Sunday from 12 noon to 5 p.m. They are closed on Monday and Tuesday. So the location listed here, Perrysburg, Ohio, as well as their phone number, and they have a web address. So Fort Meigs is a historical site, and it's the largest reconstructed wooden walled fort in the United States, and it sits on its original location along the Maumee River. Much of the site appears as it did during the summer of 1813. There is a visitor center, classrooms, a museum, store, and a museum with many exhibits. Historical interpreters dress in 1812 clothing and present demonstrations of camp life, weapons, and other activities throughout the summer. Reenactments and special events further highlight America's rich military history. And there's a submarine you can visit, the USS Cod Submarine. Admission to this in Cleveland, Ohio is approximately $12 for adults, $10 for seniors, $7 for children 5 and older. Obviously, children below 5 would be free. They are open daily, May through September, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Their location is listed here in Cleveland, and they also list their phone number. The Cod Submarine is docked in Lake Erie in Cleveland and is maintained and operated as a memorial to those submarine sailors who have lost their lives during the United States history. Because of her unique status as the very first unmodified U.S. submarine from World War II era, she has been named a National Historic Landmark. So that's all I have for you about Mother's Day and Memorial Day, but some important information about our outreach summer reading program that will be coming up. Have our reading log here, and you will start to see these beginning June, and our program will go through July. So you will keep track of your reading much like you have in the past for summer reading or even our winter reading challenge. You'll write down your titles, and when you are finished, you will turn them in either to your activity director or to me, and we will get you in a drawing. And the drawings this year will be Walmart gift card or Kroger gift card. So we hope to see you reading some this summer. And our next item will be doing a craft here. It's called Swirly Paper Flower Craft. And we got this off of the internet. The web address is below if you'd like to see more detailed instructions. But for this, you will need colored paper. You'll need a glue stick, maybe some glue or tape as well, a pair of scissors, and if you would like to, when they are finished, you can wrap them up in either tissue paper or put them in a decorative vase. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. Stop sharing my screen. Hi. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our craft. So first you'll need some colored paper. This is like computer paper that you can buy in the store, different colored, bright, fun colored paper. And we're going to start with the green first so that we can make a stem for our flower. So that's the first step, is to make the stem for the flower. So we're going to do so by, I have a piece of paper here that I cut in about half or a third, and I'm going to start rolling the edge here. So you just take your paper and kind of tightly roll the edge. And move it down, and if you get to a point where you feel like it's a little too loose, you can kind of unroll it and roll it back a little tighter. You're just going to keep swirling it and rolling it in an angle till you get all the way to the end here. And then you have your stem for your flower. You can adhere this by either using a glue stick or or a piece of tape. It just depends on how picky you are. If you don't want any tape to be shown, then maybe you want to use some Elmer's glue or a glue stick. I don't mind the tape. So that's how I'm gonna secure mine. So our stem is made now. Our next step is to take, again, a piece of paper that's a few inches in length and probably as wide as that. This is like 11 by 17, so it would be 11 and maybe just a few inches long here. And you're gonna start cutting strips down here. See? So this is about maybe 1/4 of an inch wide, and you're not going to cut all the way to the end. You're just going to cut and leave about 1/2 inch or so, maybe even an inch where you don't cut it. And you're just going to go ahead and fringe that all the way down. Like that. And when you get all the way to the bottom, then we're going to do our next step, which is to curl these up. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this while I finish cutting, and then we'll start curling. Okay, so we have our paper cut and fringed all the way to the end. And so now our next step is to start curling the little fringes up all the way to where you cut it at. You can, like I said, unroll it and roll it a little tighter if you need to, but you're gonna do that and roll each one. You just start by kind of bending it and rolling it back and forth in your fingers until you get it started. And then you're gonna roll it all the way to the top. You're gonna do that all the way down to the last fringe. So I'm gonna pause and go ahead and do mine. Okay, so we have our paper swirled here all the way to the end. So your next step would be take your stem, and you can glue or tape the paper right to the end there. I'm going to use some tape to adhere it to the stem. And you're going to wrap it around, cascading down as you wrap it. You might have to pull some of those swirlies out of the way as you're wrapping downward. Then when I got to the end here, you might have to kind of tuck a little bit, and then you can take your glue or a piece of tape here and twist it a little bit tighter, secure it with my tape. Like so. So here's your flower with your twirls. Now you'll have to take your finger and kind of unravel them a little bit and fluff them up. So I'm just going to go around and do that now. And make them stand out a little bit. And something else you can do as well with your colored paper, you can also take some paint if you wanted to and add to your paper. So you could maybe sponge some different colors on here or some textures. If you wanted to make it look even more crafty and floral-like, that is up to you. I chose not to do that with this one. So once you have it all nice and kind of fluffed out here, your next step would be to add some stems or some leaves to your stems. So I have a little piece of paper here. I kind of accordion folded it. It's about 1/4 of an inch in length. And I'm just going to take my scissors and kind of cut down the sides and narrow it to make it look like a leaf on either side. Cutting down the edges and narrowing it to make it look more leaf-like. So once that is complete, then you have your little leaves here, and I just like to take my finger and kind of curl it a little bit, get the leaves to curl, and then I'm just going to glue it on. You can also tape it on there. And I might put one on one side and maybe one a little bit lower on the other side. And then your flower will be complete. I'll go ahead and pause and do that.